Moses Itauma just knocked out Dillian Whyte in the very first round. But was it a clean KO, or did a punch to the back of the head change everything? In this video, I'll break down the Whyte versus Itauma knockout frame by frame, explain what really happened, and show you whether this was a legit finish or another controversial moment in boxing. If you're a boxing fan who loves real fight analysis and no BS breakdowns, make sure to subscribe, because we're about to find out the truth behind the Moses Itauma knockout of Dillian Whyte. Let's start off by having a look at every punch that landed in this fight until its very short and abrupt and violent end. Alright, so with 2:45 on the clock, we see a straight right hand from Moses Itauma landing. At 2:44 on the clock, a left hand from Moses Itauma lands low below the belt. At 2:27, a left hand from Moses Itauma lands on the belt line. This one's legal. A straight right hand from Moses Itauma lands at 2:25 on the clock. A jab to the body from Dillian Whyte at 2:22 on the clock. Another jab to the body by Dillian Whyte at 2:03 on the clock. A right hand from Moses Itauma lands at 1:59 on the clock. A left hand from Moses Itauma lands at 1:57. A jab to the body by Dillian Whyte at 1:55. Another jab to the body by Dillian Whyte at 1:36. A straight right by Moses Itauma to the head at 1:36. Followed up by a jab to the body by Moses Itauma at 1:36. Dillian Whyte covering up with the high guard and crouching over a bit. Moses Itauma lands a shot to the side of the head at 1:34 on the clock. Borderline, but not illegal. So here's where things get interesting. Watch closely. This punch by Moses Itauma at 1:32 on the clock does land solidly on the back of Dillian Whyte's head as he's hunched over. This is an illegal blow, after which time we see Dillian Whyte for the first time starting to cover up the back of his head, losing his balance, and losing the willingness to punch back as he did earlier in the round, although Moses Itauma was landing more. A right hand to the body by Moses Itauma at 1:25 on the clock. Another right hand by Itauma at 1:24. A jab to the head by Itauma at 1:20. And here you can see the sort of confused look on Dillian Whyte's face, where he may be imbalanced at this point from that shot I showed you earlier. A left from Itauma at 1:15. A right to the head at 1:14. All these are legitimate. And now here's where things get interesting again. A left hook solidly to the back of Dillian Whyte's head, a rabbit punch, followed up in combination by a right hook, which is the combination that causes the knockdown. In other words, the punch that caused the knockdown appears to land behind the head. Under the unified rules of boxing, that's an illegal shot. If a punch like that drops a fighter, the referee is supposed to stop the action, not the fight, and give the hurt fighter up to 5 minutes to recover. If the referee rules that foul intentional and the fighter can't continue, it's a disqualification. If it's accidental and the fight can't continue this early, it should be a no contest. But here's the key. If the referee decides the punch was legal or borderline, then the knockdown stands, and if the fighter looks unable to defend, the ref can wave it off as a TKO. And that's exactly what happened here. The referee treated Itauma's shot as a legal punch, and because Whyte looked hurt when he got up, the ref waved it off. So was this the right call? By the letter of the rules, if that punch was indeed behind the head, Whyte should have been given recovery time. But in boxing, it all comes down to the referee's judgment in the moment. So what do you think? Should Dillian Whyte have had 5 minutes to recover after being hit behind the head twice because they were intentional shots? Or do you think they were unintentional shots and the referee did the right thing? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, boxing fans, that's the full breakdown of Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte and the controversial knockdown punch that no one else seems to be talking about. If you want more real fight analysis, punch-by-punch breakdowns, and insider boxing scoring tips, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future fights. And don't stop here. Check out the videos appearing on your screen now, including my guide on how to score boxing correctly in 2025, and other fight breakdowns where we settle once and for all who really won.